Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Ross Johnston. In Titans news, the team has signed former Cardinals linebacker Kaiser White, as reported by Jordan Schultz. White had 137 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 9 tackles for loss with Arizona last season. College football week 1 ended last night with the beginning of the Bill Belichick era in Chapel Hill. The Tar Heels lost 48-14 to the TCU Horned Frogs and allowed a combined 542 yards of total offense while also turning the ball over 3 times. In NFL news, Chargers running back Najee Harris is expected to play on Friday night for their opener versus the Chiefs in Brazil after suffering an eye injury on the July 4th holiday. New Packers linebacker Micah Parsons was diagnosed with a facet joint sprain in his physical, but is expected to play in Week 1. Week 1 begins this week in the NFL with the Cowboys facing the Eagles in Philly on Thursday night. The Titans gear up for their first game on Sunday at Denver with kickoff set for 3:05 Central. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news on once in your home for the Titans involves. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. We're normally live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio, Kentucky largest sports book, can now be found in Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. We're actually live at Titans House over in Germantown off Taylor Place. Well, we're teaming up with the Tennessee Titans for this free block party. Hattie B's is here. There's hot dogs with Mexican street corn on them, virtual reality experiences, a bar, and you can also enter for your chance to win season tickets for the Tennessee Titans. And stop by anytime today. We're out here right now. 3HO will be out here later. We got guests stopping in. And speaking of guests,
the fans too,
we are joined by Amy Wells of the Official Titans Podcast and Titans Radio. So quite the experience here today.
Oh, this is fantastic. And they have the good potato chips. If you've been to a Titans event, they have, I'll bring you some.
Oh, the crunchy ones.
They're crunchy and they're like thick cut. You guys literally had to like scream at me across the room because I was just by myself in a corner eating potato chips. But they're so good. And this event is amazing. The Titans House space is so beautiful.
I know.
And it's such a cool way to get to interact with something that is just a concept.
What was this before? Do you know?
I don't know. I think it was just a space that the Titans were able to rent and kind of reimagine this whole space.
Wow.
Really nice. There's all kinds of stuff over here in Germantown.
Looks like somewhat similar to Kirby's house when I went over there. So
it's just a space
Kirby's
that we can reimagine. Yeah.
Well, I noticed
is that where they got the ideas from? I think.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, I noticed that there's a picture moment over here. We can go take pictures in front of where it says Titans House. And that, if I'm not mistaken, that is the same balloon arrangement that Bill Belichick had at his press conference last night.
Oh, my.
His post-game press conference. Pretty sure that's almost exactly the same.
How many things can you do with balloons, realistically? Like, there's only so many different arrangements that you can do without them, exploding or popping. But the Titans can do a balloon arrangement now. We've got balloons on lock around here.
There are so many balloons on around here. Like I said, Hattie B's is here. It's awesome. There was someone playing music earlier. We had live music.
Yes.
And she was pretty good, whoever it was.
I went in there and took it all in. Really nice. I saw Brett Kern back there doing autographs.
Some alumni doing autographs. Are you doing autographs today?
Oh, yeah, all day.
How much do you charge?
Oh, $0.
You charge
really?
$0?
No, $0. It's a privilege and an honor just to play for the Titans.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, thank you. Kirby told me to write that down.
That was really
nice.
But
I didn't have to because I can remember that.
I was about to say, that seems something that you've learned to say over the years.
Yeah, no, I've never said that.
So we're out here. Obviously, vibes are high out here. Now, vibes were a little low last year around the Titans facility, and obviously you've been around the Titans for a while now. With the new general manager, new quarterback, and a lot of new faces, what has the vibes been like from your perspective, and how different is it from what you observed last year?
Oh, I think vibes are high again. And it feels really like people are super excited about all of the new and what that's going to mean for this team going forward. So sometimes you have kind of a weird transition, or you have a rocky patch, or you have a season that goes the way you don't like it, and everybody feels very like, where are we going? What are we doing? What is this? You kind of feel like you're adrift until you get something solid. This team does not feel like it's adrift at all. It feels like there is a very clear foundation that has been set in 2024. It feels like the core of this team is set. The ethos, kind of who they are, what they believe to be, is solid. And so with that, with the leadership of Chad Brinker, with the leadership of Mike Borgonzi and Brian Callahan and Burke Nihill, it feels like everything is coming together and heading in a direction that's very clear to the entire organization. So sometimes when there's a lot of new around, it feels like, okay, where are we? What are we doing? What is this thing? And everybody kind of feels like they're in a haze. There is no haze right now. And now everybody is really ready to see how this works when you put a team out on the field in live action on Sundays. Like, that's the next step. But there's not a fear of what's to come. There is an excitement for what's to come.
A little bit of hope, right?
A
lot of hope.
Tons of hope and tons of confidence in the plan that's been put together. Tons of confidence in the way that this team kind of showed up throughout the off-season program. Tons of confidence in the way that this team drafted. You can't stop Blaine Bishop, man. He's the coolest guy in the room right now. It's just that confidence and that just knowing that, guys, this is how we want to build this, is creating a completely different environment than I've felt in the Titans in a long time.
So what have you seen from Brian Callahan going from year one to year two? Obviously, he was not only a first-year head coach, first-year play caller.
Right.
Everything was new to him. So what have you seen about his growth in his position among the team?
Well, and I'm sure you've heard, because Coach Mack loves this, so he's talked a lot about how Callie took meticulous notes about everything. And so he really took the offseason and he went back and he read through all of his notes. He took a really in-depth inventory of the good, the bad, the ugly. This is what I liked. This is what I didn't like. This is what I will never, ever do again. And these are the things I do want to do again. And then he looked for inspiration everywhere. We had him on the OTP, I guess, in July, around the 4th of July. And he was talking about inspiration that he pulled from, girls softball and men's soccer and this rugby team that he saw a documentary on once. And I mean, all of these places where he found leadership, he found team building, he found camaraderie, he found all of those things that felt like this team needed going into the 2025 season. He found that wherever he could, and then he stole it. Which is exactly what good people do, is they find inspiration and they take it and they make it their own. So now seeing him being so invested in building a culture of camaraderie, a culture of really truly getting to know and care about your teammate beyond just we play together, we wear the same colors, so we're cool. I mean, really getting to know each other and really understanding what makes your teammates, your brothers, tick. That's something that's so important to him. Really establishing a culture of competition, but healthy competition. One that really encourages guys to continually evolve and get better because they're constantly competing. Those are those things that are motivating this team as they're going forward, and that's beyond the X's and O's stuff. Obviously, from just a logistics standpoint, things are smoother in year two because he has a year of play calling under his belt now. Him and Nick Holtz have been able to refine some things. The defense has been able to refine some things. So there's some smooth and just the technical, how things are going to happen on Sundays and how things work through a practice schedule and through the preparation part. But then there's the bigger culture of it, and those two things together being in a whole different place is really exciting.
We're live at the Titans house in Germantown, Tennessee for their block party celebrating the new Nissan Stadium. We got Amy Wells of the official Titans podcast and Titans Radio joining us.
Yes, Amy, you were talking about the leadership side of it, and I really loved what he did. Was Callahan, the head coach, with the team bonding and building all those relationships, because it's totally different than when I played, is where we all kind of played together for a long period of time, and so you force guys now to interact with guys maybe they don't maybe play with on the field or interact with throughout practice, and getting to know one another. And once you build that bond, it's like a brotherhood, and then you kind of continually excel I was interested because so many people made fun of it. I thought it was very valuable. I've been on some great teams, and we weren't the most talented teams, and I'm talking about all the way through grade school, high school. You don't have to have the most talented players, but you got to understand who you're playing with, what are their weaknesses and flaws within the game, who they are as people, and understand maybe if they have a bad day. It's no different than having a brother-sister relationship. So I really thought that was really unique in that he did that. I was wondering, did he talk about that a little bit on the OTP?
He did, and it's been interesting to see that you talked about, not only guys getting to know their own position groups, but getting to know the whole team. On the sidelines for the last preseason game, I noticed that more than anything else that I noticed was the people that were talking to each other on the sidelines. It wasn't just offenses on one side, defenses on the other side,
right.
And we don't really communicate much unless we absolutely have to. They were all jumbled up on the sidelines. And now part of that is preseason, and you're not like getting back to making adjustments after every play. But in their free time, when guys were in street clothes, maybe in the second half of the game, when they're just standing around talking, it was all position groups standing around talking. They're all interacting. And another place that's really evident, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the Titans of Tennessee docuseries that the Titans have been putting up. Episode 3 just dropped. And in episode 3, they talk a lot about the different ways that the team is building that camaraderie. They go fishing, and it's every position group. It's all the different people in these boats that, like, there is no mathematical or scientific reason that those boats should have stayed afloat. They were so heavy because of the amount of humans that were in these fishing boats, and they're all giant humans. So you see a wide shot of this boat going across the water, and it's like, looks like it's taking on water. It's not. They're just kind of weighed down. But seeing them all interact and doing these things outside of the building together is also a really big deal. And that just goes towards building that team where everybody cares for each other. They're all fighting for each other, and they're fighting together. That's so important.
Man, I hear your passion and listening to you. I just want to, what's the most rewarding part of being on an OTP and interacting with not only the community, but also the fans and listening and seeing how OTP has grown over, how many years has it been now? 8 years?
I
mean,
think
I
it's
don't know.
been 8 or 9 years.
Okay, yeah.
There's a couple different things that come to mind right away. One is that people trust us to tell their stories, and that's not something that I ever take for granted, whether it be players, whether it be coaches, whether it's just guests that we bring on the show every now and then. There's a level of trust that you have to have in telling someone about a moment or your story or this thing that really impacted your life, and you're trusting them to kind of handle that with care and really tell it in a way that is accurate and respectful. And so we take great pride in the responsibility that comes with having a podcast like this. Also, it's just meeting people. The whole genesis of the OTP was that we had so much information in our brains, and at the time it was Mike Keith. He and I would sit together on Mondays after the games and just download at each other everything that we had prepared that we didn't get to use on the game broadcast. And I was like, there's got to be a place where we can put this information, because this is so interesting, and I think fans would like to hear this. And so that is why we created that podcast initially. It was just like a brain dump of information. And over the years, it has grown and changed. But time and time again, I get to talk with fans who are like, hey, we so enjoyed this story, or we found that nugget of information so interesting, or my kids really enjoy coming to the games now because they understand what they're looking at a little bit better. And all of those things, being able to take that information, that stuff that we just stuffed into our brains trying to get ready for a game, being able to use that in a way that's engaging with Titans fans and gives them another touch point to this organization, that's just the best. I mean, you'll never get better than that.
What's a story, let's just use the rookie draft class, that maybe you would like the fans who are listening would want to know? Or is there a story about a second-year player, give you a little more broader?
Oh, gosh, there's
brush.
so many.
I know, but what one kind of stands out there, just remember, besides, your fear of birds.
I do have a very real fear of birds, among other things. I think there's a lot of things I'm afraid of. I didn't realize
I'm afraid of snakes.
Okay, see, that's a similar thing.
I'm spiders, but I feel like I feel like that is very
common.
normal.
Right. Spider, snake, Bird.
Okay, mine can fly, which I think gives me like an extra level of fear.
Can it pick
But
you
you
up?
can
It
see.
can also, there's talons.
You can
there's
see a bird
flying.
coming.
Some
You
of
can't
them
see a
can
spider
talk.
coming.
Like, what
They can
fresh hell
talk.
is that? Well, I mean, like parrots can talk, cockatoos can talk. In no way should any creature be able to fly and talk. You get one out of one or the other. You can't have them both.
Oh my!
Absolutely not.
You just sold me a little bit on
I hate
that.
'em. None of this is normal. You got talons, you got beaks. There's so many different ways you can hurt a person.
Have
No
you ever
way.
asked a player what's their biggest fear?
Oh, all the time.
Okay,
I
so-
haven't
so
gotten
let-
too
so-
many weird ones,
No,
though.
no weird
it's
ones?
all pretty normal.
It's just like
ones.
spiders and snakes and stuff.
Yeah, I talked to. So I'm going through a Cody Barton phase right now. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't explain it, but like I was asked a question on Coach's show on Monday night about who I'm excited about, and I was like, it's Cody Barton, and I realized, oh, this is awkward. I just did an interview with Cody Barton. Okay, am I like obsessed? What is this? But he's just really caught my attention through the last part of practice, the last couple weeks of like training camp and into the practice week. And so middle linebackers are on my brain, I guess. But we were talking to him, and in this interview, he was like, and this is kind of a weird story that people share with me. He goes, I'm having a really hard time finding my direction in Nashville. Like, I keep getting turned around. And I was like, what do you mean you keep getting turned around? Like, the streets are like...
Yeah,
He goes,
there's two old hickories. When I first came to town, I
that
went way
is hard.
across the town.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's 5 old
It's
hickories.
7.
There
It's
are.
7.
I knew there was
Yeah.
more, but
Oh, man,
There's lots
I
of
got
old
so
hickory.
mad when we first moved here.
Everything is Briley. Everything is Briley. Like, yeah, it's very confusing. But he goes, no. There's no mountains here. He goes, I don't know which way is north, south, east, or west. Because I would always look at a mountain range and be like, oh, well, that's the whatever mountain. So that's obviously east. So I need to make a left here. Like, I don't know what kind of orienteering just life he has led, because never in my life have I been lost and thought, if only I knew where north was, then I could figure this out. If I'm lost, I'm never coming out. Like, I'm gone. So you're going to have to send someone to get me.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come find me. But it's things like that, like little nuggets that you hear about people.
yeah.
And it's,
I like it.
you're just getting these human exchanges, these human interactions. And at the end of the day, I mean, Blaine, you know this. Players, they're people just like us.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And they all have their things and their weird fears and the bizarre things they're struggling with. And I mean, we all have things. And so being able to get to know those stories and then share them with our fan base, so fun. Best job in the world.
sounds like it.
Yeah,
really
I know,
is.
man.
Well, this has been the best job of the day so far, being able to interview you.
Right,
So
yeah.
professional
Oh,
radio
you-
transition
you
right
guys
there.
are
She's super
so
talented.
kind.
She made our show a lot smarter.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
guys are so kind.
A lot of passion too, and I think that's the big thing. Is that I think coming off a losing season, it's hard to maintain that kind of passion. And sometimes people hear off-season fluff and just like, oh, this is just fluff. No, there's a real passion and vibe change, even when I've been out at practices,
Yeah.
that you can kind of sense. It may not result in wins, but at least it will be more energetic, hopefully.
You can only go up.
Yeah.
Well, as our dear friend Dave McGinnis says, we all need to keep our powder dry here.
Right.
There is also a lot of new,
There we go.
a lot of young. There's a lot of things that still need to be figured out and felt out. And we all also know that week 1 of the regular season is not indicative of the rest of the season.
That's
Week
true.
1 is kind of fake.
Yeah.
Can't be a liar, that's for sure.
Unless you're an Alabama fan, that was definitely
Yeah,
real.
that was-
That was real. That was real. Just because you're a huge fan, that was real.
Yeah.
Keith Bullock always says, don't complain to me on Twitter until October.
There you go.
You can't
There
complain
you go.
until October.
I like that.
I see you
Everybody's
missed the Monday night.
Everybody's trying to settle in the month of September, so we're all going to remember that. We're all settling in together. We have a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
We're very excited about him. He's also a rookie, so no complaining until October.
Well, you can hear more from Amy Wells on the official Titans podcast at Titans Radio. Amy, we greatly appreciate it.
Of
Thank you,
course.
Amy.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate
All
it.
right, when we come back, we're going to talk more about the Tennessee Titans. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, streaming live from 104.5 The Zone and down here at Titan's house in Germantown. We got music playing now. She's back up on the stage. I don't know what her name is, but she's very, very good. But we got hot dogs with Mexican street corn on them. We got Hattie B's. We have virtual reality sessions to tour the new stadium. Former players are here. I mean, this is the place to be on a Tuesday if you're off of work. And even if you're at work, why don't you just go home, say you got a little tummy ache, and then come on by?
Or, you come by for a lunch break.
That's true.
Yeah, just take a longer lunch break. Yeah, we got food here, too.
We're going to be here till 6 p.m., so you definitely don't want to miss out on that. Blaine, I'm going to let you kind of choose where we go with the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know.
No problem. Do you want to go to our Titans predictions on the stat lines, or do you want to talk about what the coaches said today?
Oh, prediction on the stat line.
Like for Cam Ward and all of the players that sent you.
For the entire season.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do you want to do that, or do you want to talk about what all the coaches had to say today?
I don't know, CJ. What would you say? Stat line for players upcoming season, or what was said at the presser today? Upcoming season it is.
Okay, upcoming season it is. So we want to hear from you as well. 615-737-1045. We're going to be running through a couple different categories, a couple different stat lines, what we think may or may not happen with this Tennessee Titans team. And, of course, we probably need to start right up with the rookie quarterback himself, Cam Ward. And it's going to be interesting with Cam Ward because, obviously, theoretically, you should see less crazy turnovers. You should see less sacks, which should mean more pass attempts, right, that go into a positive direction. But if you look over at what the Titans have done as far as when you are looking at not only what they did last year, what rookie quarterbacks have traditionally done from their final year in college to their rookie year in the NFL, it doesn't paint maybe the best sounding picture. Because I think people are hoping that, they're hoping, Blaine, for a 4,000-yard season. They're hoping for like 30 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, stuff that he was, did in college. That likely ain't going to happen in the NFL.
Why not Cam?
I'm just saying.
Why not?
I'm just saying. Because we have seen it in the preseason. He likes to take risks. He likes to go for the, I guess you would say, less probable outcome passes. You get what I'm saying? Like, if the deep shots don't have a high completion rate as much as a screen pass or this or that. And listen, the Tennessee Titans have kind of shown under Brian Callahan, they ain't a good screen team. There's nothing I saw in the preseason that made me switch that. So if I was the Tennessee Titans, I just wouldn't do screens anymore.
So you just throw it out the playbook.
Just throw out the screens. No more screens.
Oh, my.
But I do wonder, when you look at these rookie quarterbacks drafted in the first round, he was a 67% completion percentage. If you look at what most quarterbacks did, that probably puts him at 61.2 completion percentage. Okay, that's not great, and it's not as good as what the quarterbacks combined for last year, but that's about the average of what rookie quarterbacks do.
So you're looking at the average, but what is your opinion without looking at the number?
I mean, I'm thinking that he's going to be...
Because the number could stray you wrong. It could lead you down a bad path when he could be on a good path.
I'm thinking anywhere from 61 to 63. Like, I don't think he's going to be a near 70% completion passer because I don't think that's what I really saw.
I wish you look at my no
tape.
bad, but I said 62.
There you go. See?
All right, I'm going to give you my yardage. 3,500 yards. Well, let's first start with how many games will he play?
Ooh, that is a good one because I think that's one of the questions we have for L'Jarius Sneed when we're talking about predicting the season.
So I'm hoping with the new line and everything that's assembled, since he didn't get hit very much in preseason, I'm thinking, okay, he'll play probably all the games. But that's highly unlikely, but I'm hoping that happens.
Yeah.
So I think with that being happening, he's going to be 62% passer rating with 20 TDs and 10 interceptions.
Okay, we are very close.
No way!
So I have it because I got roughly about 553 attempts.
So that means I'm getting smarter.
I think
because you're super smart.
Or is it going the other way?
No, you may be going the other way.
Okay, so
you go the other way.
most rookies average 529 pass attempts. I think he's going to have more than that because that's what they had last year, and we're talking about less sacks, less interceptions mean more pass attempts. Is kind of how I view it.
Yeah.
So I think of roughly around 553 pass attempts. Now, Mike Clay, who does stuff for ESPN on the analytical side for fantasy football purposes, he has him at 561. So I did less. I think that he's going to have – I'm really close to going around 3,633 yards.
Oh, so you got an exact number. So you're doing your little analytic numbers. I'm just doing off the top of my head. 3,520, 20 and 10.
And I landed on 20 and 13. 20 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. So now remember,
is one of them pick six?
Probably. Now remember, there were 21 interceptions last year from the Tennessee Titans passers, both passers combined.
Oh.
And so that's less, but also 12 interceptions are what the rookie quarterbacks typically average in a season. So I'm going with 13.
Okay.
So I'm going one more than the average because I feel like he's a little bit more of the gunslinger, controlled gunslinger compared to what other quarterbacks have been coming out of college. I feel like some of them are a little safe. So I'm going 3,600 yards, 61.2% completion percentage, and 20 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, about 6.7 yards per attempt. That's where I think I'm a little low. But nothing I can see. It's very hopeful, but I think he's going to be higher than that yards per attempt. But that tends to be what the NFL is.
Yeah, I don't know about the yards attempts and all that, but I would say 20. You know what we should do? Put up what I said, Ross, and then what, my man Zach says, who's the numbers guy, and see which ones the fans like better. And what is realistic. I mean, it seems like if he plays all the games, I think he's capable of, doing somewhere in this range.
Right, and that's really...
Maybe even better, though, if they throw more often than not. I don't know. Now, that means the interceptions may go up because more opportunities. But, because what did Caleb Williams get?
So Caleb Williams...
37?
Caleb Williams last year...
He was close to 4,000.
He was actually right smack dab in 3,500. So he was right where he was 3,500, 20 and 6.
Oh, so that's what I said, 3,500.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So and he was 62.5%.
Oh, I said 62. Dang,
yeah,
I don't know. Okay.
So you were right there with what
because
Caleb
their record kind of mirrored him until he started protecting the ball a little bit better. I thought he had better. He's going to have better weapons probably than what the Titans have because if they double Calvin Ridley, who are the Titans going to?
See, that's the thing. So they talked about that today, right? Nick Holtz talked about that.
He was asked a question, but I've been saying this the whole time. Like, what are they going to do? Like, okay, no different than if Snead's not out there. What are you going to do?
Well, let's hear from what Nick Holtz had to say and give our reactions to what he said. This is Nick Holtz on if they take away Calvin Ridley, what's next?
You got to move Calvin around, first of all. I think we'll move him around different formations, which we really got to at different points last year. And then those other guys, they got to make plays versus man and match coverage, right? It's going to be you got to win your one-on-one matchups, and it could be all those receivers. I think they'll all be up. The tight ends are going to be up. The backs are going to be up. And, if they're taking two guys to really take away one guy, the other guy's got to win. That's the numbers are in our favor to win those other matchups if they're taking two for the other guys.
That's always interesting because I remember doubling Jimmy Smith. That's why I was talking about, oh, man, he's a Hall of Fame player. And we still couldn't stop him. So, as a quarterback, and I say that when do you know to force feed your stud guy and then trying to, elevate another player to get him to rise to occasion in his one-on-one matchup. And then we don't know who that guy is and who you trust in. And that's big on the football field. Who will the guy be? I don't know. I don't know who that guy will be.
See, that's the thing. It's like
is it the tight end?
Well, Brian alluded to that's almost like a by committee.
Well, it should be eventually.
Yeah. And basically it's Calvin Ridley, then I guess, maybe either a safety outlet or I don't know if there's going to be a secondary force-feeding guy, if that makes sense. Now, is that the right move or not? That's a totally different conversation. But I would think that it would go Calvin Ridley to Tyler Lockett. I don't know if that's going to be necessarily the case. It may go Calvin Ridley then to Van Jefferson. It may go Calvin Ridley to Gunnar Helm. We don't really know where he's really, or Chig, where he's really coached to go sometimes on these plays.
Right.
Is it going to be outside in, outside then inside then outside? Is it going, left to right? But I think the biggest thing of that conversation or that answer
Go
was
to the guy that's open.
go to the guy that's open.
But then that's
So
then what
you gotta
leads you to
and
it.
we saw him scan it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Preseason, we were talking yesterday about what you could really take away from preseason. We saw in preseason, he's going to go to Calvin Ridley. I mean,
I'm glad they took him off that field.
Right.
Don't
But,
put
I
him on
mean,
there.
we know that I think force feeding isn't going to be a problem for Calvin Ridley. But when the defense takes it away, to your point, which they're going to do, right? It's kind of like when an offense is coming in and they look at this Tennessee Titans defense. They know they're really more worried about Jeffrey Simmons than everybody else. When you're looking at this offense right now, you're more worried about Calvin Ridley than you are Van Jefferson, Tyler Lockett.
Watch this. Are you worried that Calvin really can win his one-on-one matchup against Surtain on the outside? Because I don't think he plays the slot.
See, if
but
I
he
was a
plays
defensive
outside.
coordinator, I wouldn't have to worry about double covering Calvin Ridley in my mind.
On the outside.
On the outside.
I don't think he goes to the slot. But
Yeah. Because, I mean, that's how I would approach
I
it,
would
right?
too. Absolutely.
Because everybody's like, well, if they double, Calvin Ridley, the Denver Broncos defense doubles Calvin Ridley. I'm like, well, do they have to?
Wait. But here's a strategy we use sometimes that actually worked. You put Surtain on the number 2 guy,
And just
you
erase him.
double Calvin
Yes.
Ridley.
So if you were the Denver Broncos, do you think when it's Van Jefferson and Calvin Ridley, do you think that's the best way to do it? Because you want to blitz, you want to pressure.
But I know he can take those guys
Yeah.
out. And us doubling another guy, we should be able to take him out.
See, I just wonder if they even have to double at all.
They may not.
See, that's
But
what.
that's why Hope
Yeah.
said, we'll move him. Now, when he
Yeah.
plays the slot, Surtain's not in the
Right.
slot. So that's a little
That
different
goes to
animal.
maybe Jahdae Barron, who they drafted, who's a rookie. That may go to Riley Moss. We'll see how that works out. But
Yeah, who's a
Calvin
pretty- I
Ridley's
like
going to,
Moss.
because to me, if you put Patrick Surtain over on Calvin Ridley, Riley Moss and Van Jefferson probably can be all right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just think that there's not a real opportunity. I don't think the Broncos are going to fall into the trap of having to have an extra man on wherever Calvin Ridley's at.
Oh, no. That will come about throughout the game. That happens
If he
does
starts
happen.
getting burned.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and then maybe that's the other guy that's – because if you're a smart coach, you're going to make sure he's not on the side of Surtain.
Right,
And you're
right.
trying to make sure you get a matchup that you can win.
I do wonder
90% of the time.
I don't know the shadow rate of Patrick Surtain. I don't know if he actually does shadow or not. Follows the number 1 wide receiver
I'm
on
sure
the
he
field.
has, but it's the impact of
Right.
he's only an outside corner, not
Yeah.
a slot guy. And
So-
that's where you can get the mismatch for
So,
Calvin
like you
Ridley.
said, are they going to have Patrick Surtain on just on one side of the field, even if Calvin Ridley's on the other? Probably not. But when it comes to the slot, they're not putting Surtain in there.
Yeah.
And that's where maybe we'll probably see, at least this year, or this game, I wonder how high that rate of slot usage will be. Then my other question becomes, it's Van Jefferson and Elikiah Manor, right? Or are you putting Tyler Lockett on the outside? I would think you're putting Elikiah Manor on the outside to at least have that size in that situation. 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, then 3 wide receivers. You would think it'd be Van Jefferson, Elikiah Manor, Calvin Ridley in the slot in that kind of situation.
Well, I don't know that. I haven't seen Alec and Van on the field at the same time because we only have so much
Right.
in preseason.
Yeah.
I do like your premise, though, of using those 2 guys. But got to remember now, Lockett has a lot of experience, so how much would really actually get into the slot?
Right.
Remember, he played at Seattle. Seattle does play the Denver Broncos, don't they?
I'm sure they have.
Yeah. So I think they have played him. So, I think Lockett's a valuable guy. I just want to see how much he's got left in the tank. He brings a mismatch problem in that he's a quick, jittery guy. And those guys are always tough, so I'll be watching that matchup. I'm going to go watch some film, though, on Surtain and see how much he travels, to the outside receiver side to side. If he did that, in some of their matchups, get some of those elite receivers that they play. That'll be really interesting because you have to plan on that as an OC as well,
Right.
as a coordinator. And so then that would lead you to put him in the slot. And you can disguise Lockett even though he's not in the slot, but you can have tight splits. And then Calvin kind of can, be the slot even though he's on the outside. And then run some of the reverse, some gadgets and things of that nature. So I think it'll be all game plan. But that first game is always tricky for both sides of the ball. I never was comfortable in the first game, like going into it, because you always were expecting some trickery, type of play defensively on defense, because you just never know. They know we've watched film all summer and know some of their tendencies that are honed in.
According to playerprofiler.com, they have a shadow rate of 54.2%.
Oh, so damn.
So that's number 4 in the NFL. So he's the highest rated, or highest, the 4th highest is the best way to put it. 4th highest shadow rate following the receiver around. Doesn't have to mean number 1 receiver, but he's following around the receiver the more often.
So I like that. So so he's going to do it. I mean, you got to remember now, this guy was Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's right. He's an Alabama guy, isn't he?
Yeah, well, they don't have any more of those down in Alabama.
Yeah, his dad was pretty good when I was playing, too, for the Dolphins. He was really good. He was really athletic. They had him and Sam Madison on the outside. I'm pretty cool with Sam from Louisville.
All right, so Blaine has, and I sent this to Ross via his Twitter DM, so you can put it up in a tweet. You had 62% for Cam Moore completion rate, 3,500 pass yards, 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. I had 61.2%, 3,600 yards, 20 touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
And asterisk.
Yeah.
I had him missing one game.
You had him missing one game. I think I have, technically I have him going the full season.
Okay.
So I think I have that much faith in his durability, but also the faith of the offensive line.
Yeah, they did look good.
When we come back, we'll talk about the offensive line, talk about sacks allowed, how that can change the outcome of these games. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by all four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number.
And Jeffrey Simmons showed up with straight attitude.
He's lost a lot of weight.
Boy.
Look at that.
He came in here and said, where's Cam Morton? I'm ready to pick a fight.
We're talking about Joseph, who just walked in his Jeffrey Simmons jersey.
Yeah. It's starting fights and everything.
Got it from Dollar General. And, Jackson has left for the a sister station.
He got a
he's not
raise.
a producer anymore.
Yeah,
we have
Patty
Mojo
Motoback.
Rojo. And ever since he's left, Joseph has become emboldened to be more of a crap head, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay.
And
welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
And I asked for a list of the audio because I know he cuts it. Takes a lot of time and everything to cut it. He sent me a picture with all the numbers and everything blacked out on it. Said he wasn't even to send it to me.
Can he defend himself? I mean, is this true Bananas? So people can get to know the real Bananas, not
this
the one.
is the real Bananas.
Not the,
Don't
not
let
the
him do
nice
it, Blaine.
guy.
Don't
Not
let him
the
defend
nice
himself.
guy.
He's not a team player.
He is not a team
Not
player.
a team player.
Didn't you get a call about being a team player? No, he said he did not receive that call, Allison. Oh, yeah.
He'll put you in a suitcase and drop you in the river.
Yeah.
That's what Bananas does.
I think you did.
I'm just here trying to make everybody's show on the station better, and he's trying to hold us back.
Well, I can't
And I've
say.
been nothing
I
but
don't know.
nice to him since I've been here.
Well, the ratings say that he is not holding us back. So I don't know.
Zach, didn't you bring him a bunch of cookies yesterday, too?
I brought a bunch of cookies yesterday. No, they were for Blaine. You were trying to steal Blaine's cookies? Man, look at that. No respect.
Oh, man.
No respect.
I got my cookies. Trust me. I'm the cookie monster. They go. They go. You got a nice haircut, though.
Yeah. It was a fresh haircut.
Nice haircut. It goes well. Goes well with the beak.
All right. We're doing Tennessee Titans stat predictions. We're doing Tennessee Titans
I'm
stat
picking up so many good habits from Zach, man.
Yeah.
You know, you led with
I like
the
it.
last
Just
minute.
laying in the little bit last minute zinger in there and just moving right along. Tennessee Titans allowed the fifth highest amount of sacks last year with 52 sacks on the quarterback.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, that offensive line was not good last year.
Man.
The Tennessee Titans went from the 12th. Now, I don't know if this really means anything, but they went from the 12th heaviest to now the 5th heaviest offensive line.
Even with Latham losing weight?
Yeah, even with Latham losing weight.
I think they still go by his own way.
Zeitler. It must be Zeitler.
Stop that. What are you talking about? Stop. Hey, man, my neck is hurt now, Kirby. I'm for real, though.
So last year, the NFL average offensive lineman allowed 41 sacks. And then the Tennessee Titans were at 52. So there was a big difference because really when you talk about sacks, the amount does matter, don't get me wrong, but it's also the impact of the sacks. How many of them are on third downs? How many of them in the red zone and push you out of the red zone and scoring opportunities? Like all that kind of stuff.
Good stuff.
And it seemed like there were just every sack was a tremendously bad one for the Tennessee Titans. So when you hear that number, Buffalo Bills only allowed 14 sacks last year. Green Bay allowed 22. To get into the top 5, you only had to allow 30.
Oh.
So where do you expect this Tennessee Titans offensive lineman to fall? We heard that they were going to be a predicted top 5 offensive line from ESPN just a few weeks ago, which was kind of crazy to me. But even if they just get to average, because remember, sacks are kind of a quarterback stat too. So how much can Cam Ward avoid sacks? His pocket presence that we talked about in the preseason and what we've seen in training camp and on film is totally different than what Will Levis and Mason Rudolph had. So how much can Cam Ward help the offensive line, and how much can the offensive line improve from 52 sacks allowed last year?
Well, I think they definitely improved. As much resource they've used on, the money, the picks. Now the offensive line, if they're below middle of the road, I'd be stunned. So I'm predicting they'll be about, 10th best offensive line.
Yeah.
So with that being said, as far as sacks, I think they'll be in the probably low 40 range.
So
If I was
top
a
10
center.
last year would have been 33 sacks allowed. So you're not too far off, really.
Yeah, I think they're. Yeah.
Because you do have a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Rookies do tend to take sacks. Life comes at you a little bit quicker in the NFL than in college. So there's a little bit of an adjustment period. I want to ask you this question because I think this is an interesting one. This is one that I kind of think is going to be the opposite of what Emmett Jones is saying in the F&M Bank chat, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live. He says, hopefully Brian Callahan can help with chips and move that pocket or quick reads. Now, I do agree with that last part, but this offensive line, the way it's built with this offensive line coach, I kind of feel like they don't want to chip, and I kind of feel like with the resources you've spent, now obviously, if you got Myles Garrett out there, you probably need to have an extra blocker out there for Myles Garrett no matter where he lines up. But I don't think that compared to last year where they had a lot of chips or an extra offensive lineman on the field, I think they want to move away from that as much as possible, and in that way they have more pass catchers, more guys out in routes.
It'd be hard to disagree with that. They didn't do a lot of that last year. I thought they should have done a little bit more. I just think he runs his system.
Yeah, and I don't think his system wants to be that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Whether that's right or wrong is a totally different
I think
conversation.
that's why I'm leaning to what I've seen based
Right.
off last season, and they didn't do a bunch of that at all.
No.
It just seems like it was part of their offense, which, that's how it should be. So unless you started having trouble, which I thought then when they started having a little bit of trouble, max protect and then get two guys out, if not throw it away or run or, try to improvise a little bit. But you're at a point where you're just now trying to see what players were doing what they could do at the end of the season. So, I think they're going to just run their offense. The most interesting thing, we're talking about these stats and everything, and I'm real interested to see in the moment, in game, not only offense but defensive play calling. Do you put your players in good positions so they can succeed and excel? Naturally, there's going to be times where it's all on the player, but is the calls indicative of where you're at as a team?
Are you calling, let's put it this way, are you calling routes or plays where there's routes that Elikai Manor that really only Calvin Ridley should be running? Because,
right, that's exactly what I'm referencing.
Yeah.
Or
are you putting a corner on an island that shouldn't be on an island without wide receiver?
Right. I mean, we can't be, now we're trying to win. I mean, you can't do every circumstance, of course, but you're trying to, make sure that you understand who your players are. I think I was listening to them earlier today. I think they have a better understanding of what players are capable of and what they are not. So we shall see this second year if that happens.
That's
more
been
so
the
than
big
not.
theme, it feels like. And I know Nick Holtz was specifically kind of asked
that's
about
what
it.
he's talking about, Nick Holtz.
But it does feel like they have a better understanding of the players in front of them.
Yeah.
And some could say that they probably, as a coach, you probably need that understanding a little bit quicker last year, but it didn't really seem. It seemed like they came in with preconceived notions last year,
I said that.
and they never adjusted.
Yeah, I think they wanted to believe what they believed, whether that was coming from someone inside the building or what they saw on film. Until you see a player, and you gotta know what they can and can't do, and eventually they got there. But I think that was a little too late.
Well, this is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons. We're live at the Titans House in Germantown, Tennessee. Stop by anytime for the rest of the day up to 6 p.m. Get some Hattie B's, some hot dogs, some pictures taken with the cheerleaders. Get a virtual tour. You got pictures everywhere. You got autographs. Come on down. We look forward to seeing you here. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons right here on 105 The Zone.
Who put that out?
Titans. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here. A 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. And it looks like according to Jim Wyatt. Some things that caught him eye as the first unofficial depth chart. Is it still unofficial?
Don't ask me. I don't understand.
Why is it still first an unofficial depth chart? Because the game's on Sunday. So either way, obviously Cam Ward's listed as starting quarterback, but the Titans are listed with a 3 wide receiver set, 11 personnel, and he has written down Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, and Alec Manor is the starter on the outside opposite Calvin Ridley. Immediately behind each of them is Van Jefferson, Bryce Oliver, and Chimere DK.
And DK's the returner.
So here's my question to you is, do you think that's deserved?
I don't know. Do you, D?
I don't think so. I mean, I get that it's a young season, right? A lot of young players, and they want to lean on them, but, like, that's who you're going to roll with out there in 11 personnel against Denver? I don't know about that. I don't know if that serves your quarterback the best.
Well, I always have this philosophy. If I was coaching, I would let the vet doom himself.
Yeah.
See, so then it's earned. And when I say doom himself, I mean he goes out there and plays just okay. Well, we can get okay with a rookie, right? Yeah. And he didn't do anything to lose the job. Yeah. So what you're sending out a message to the veteran players is the story was already written before you even got started. DK was going to be the returner, and Alec Manor was going to be the starter.
Yeah.
There was nothing that I saw that he took the job from him.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean he won't go out there and perform well, but I think that sends out a bad vibe, a message that was predetermined.
And now listen, I don't know how much coaches are actually involved with these depth charts, and I know that Coach Mack said he ain't never paid attention to a preseason depth chart in his life. Yeah. I can't remember if that extended to this one or not, but I do think that
I would have Alec rotating with them throughout the game, but then we would see in live action who was the better player.
Because what if Alec Manor drops his first pass? What if Alec Manor tips a ball up in the air? Because he is a rookie. Rookies make mistakes.
See, so then that gives you leeway if you lean to the veteran and you rotate them in. Now you're not set with this, why did you do that?
Yeah. And I'm sure they still will do a heavy rotation because surely they're not going to lean very heavily.
Well, with the altitude and everything, some people saying it's no different. I'm like, hey man, I don't know about that.
I mean, it may not be, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that so far in the regular season.
Right.
Right? I mean, we talk about how the game gets faster. Even Mike Borgonzi a couple of days ago said it gets faster and faster as it goes. From rookie mini camps to OTAs.
Well, you kill me when you repeat what they say, but you never repeat what I say.
Well,
I've said that multiple times.
I mean
50 billion times. I think he was listening to me.
Yeah, well, he may have been listening to you, but he's the last one who said it. So I'm going up the last guy.
I don't think he's ever played, so I don't know if he really knows.
But here's why I'm going up with Mike Bergonzi, because this seems like we go back to what we talked about with Chimere DK as a returner. This seems like this is Mike Borgonzi's handpicked drafted guy. And
that's what you said, but I would agree. See, but you ain't going to say I said that one, though, huh? See, that was the tester on you.
But I do think that I do wonder how much of this is because he was the drafted guy, but it's a fourth-round draft pick who may not produce. We've seen fourth-round draft picks at a much higher clip not produce. Now, who am I to go against the coaches who are there every day? But I'm just thinking if you're trying to make sure that Cam Ward has the best available options going up against Denver, it seems a little weird to go with Alec Manor right out of the gate, because I saw nothing at training camp and nothing in the preseason that said that he was definitively better than Van Jefferson.
Yeah, that's why I just would have played different. I would have had my mindset already once we got into probably the second preseason game, and even after the drop, that there's going to be some rotation here with this other receiver spot on the outside.
Yeah.
And I would have, trying to see what Van is, and if he was getting beat up, then that's easy to go with Alec. But if Alec goes out here and messes up early, then now all the pressure is on what your decision was and on him.
Yeah.
So I would have kind of played it a little bit differently. Ultimately, they're going to get to where they wanted to anyway. Alec was going to be out there. Hey, man, Ray, they just ready to move forward with the young players and get, some cohesiveness with Cam Ward.
Cedric Gray is listed as a starter at inside linebacker.
Oh,
so,
I called that one.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we both kind of favored that one.
Yeah, it got to that point heading into that, was it the first preseason game?
Yeah.
I think I did the pre-show with you.
Even when Williams had a good game, we were both saying, hey, man, react. Cedric Gray was off the charts. I don't know. I know he didn't have any splash plays. And then the second game, I think it was the Falcons game maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's when he started getting the reps.
Yeah.
Jalen Harrell listed as a third-teamer edge rusher. Femi Oladejo listed on the second team, not a starter. You also, speaking of third-teamers, Marcus Harris is listed as the third-teamer, already being passed up by the corners that they added at undrafted free agency on the depth chart. So Jalen Armour-Davis is listed behind Jarvis Brownlee Jr., Darrell Baker's listed behind L'Jarius Sneed, and Sam Womack is listed behind Roger McCreary in the nickel.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that sounds about right. But, man, if what you're trying to find is lightning in a bottle with Davis, and if he has a good season, stays healthy, that's why it's not a long-time play. It's a play for you to get him for the least amount of dollars. He plays well, goes to another team. Because you don't bank on that he's going to stay healthy another season.
Right.
See, he's trying to get the contract. He stays healthy eventually. Then you let him ride out to sunset. But guess what? You got great play out of a high-level potential type talented player, which I think he is. And his talent tells you he's a starter in the league. He just can't stay healthy. So you only have so many lives in the NFL.
Yeah. And then to nobody's surprise in tight ends, though, is Gunnar Helms listed as tight end 2. Behind Chikakonkwo. So, and then it's David Martin Robinson behind him. Only 3 tight ends, which is how it's supposed to go.
Compared to Alec Alexander and Jefferson and Gunnar Helm to Chig.
Gunnar Helms has shown more than Chig, to be honest with you. Now, whether that's just how it all played out, but Gunnar Helm has shown more than Alec Manor. I mean, I get it. I get that you just kind of want to get these young guys reps, but I don't agree with doing it at the detriment of your rookie quarterback. That's just where I'm at.
Maybe Cam had something to say about it.
Maybe
they asked him. He said it's a coin toss.
Well,
I don't know how it
call
works.
up Xavier Restrepo.
I don't know, man. I'm wondering if he said, "Hey, man, I'd rather go with Alec." He's kind of, that's being a draft pick, but man, that's a tough call there, man. But there will be no pressure on Van Jefferson then.
Yeah.
And he'll go out there. To me, all these guys that are in the 1-year deal type of Jefferson and, any of the, even Chig is 1 year because this is contract year. So I know those guys are highly motivated to have successful seasons, whether they're with us next year or not.
Right.
So there's a lot banking on it. And you ride into that and you lean into that as a coach.
See, that's just where I lean to.
Because they have a lot of stakes. It's, basically you're playing year to year, but everybody's trying to get that big contract, that guarantee, that 4-year deal or 5-year deal, and 3-year deal for some guys, depending on position, and they're working towards that for
and
their
like
families.
we said, we know that the Van Jefferson will be heavily rotated in, but how much will he be rotated in is the question, because he should, in my opinion, get more snaps whether he's the starter or not, than Alec Manor, because he knows where to be. He knows his spots. He knows his cues. And that's just where I'm at with it. And listen, Alec Manor has every chance to prove me wrong or prove himself right and their decision right, but we haven't seen that. What has been on the field has not been, if everything is supposed to be earned by, according to this regime, if we're supposed to earn our spots, I have not seen that at practice, and I have not seen that in a game, in my mind.
To add to that, though, I hate when we have to give opinions like this without knowing the individual. Yeah. Because the individual kind of tells you. Wonder if they feel like Alec just has this more I'm going to go get it than they.
I can see it.
And so maybe that's why they leaned into that decision in this game. I hate it because they know them inside and out much more than what we're just seeing at practice and in games, and mostly just game, really. So that's a little unfair because the mental fortitude and toughness and that practice and everything else tells you all the things that they really know to make these kind of decisions.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see because I am very hesitant against Denver. Like, if this was like the Colts, or maybe a rival's not a good pick, but like a team that's kind of middling,
Yes,
I could probably be on board. It's just that when you have something like this and you're relying on a fourth-round rookie, I don't care what the projections are or anything like that. Everybody had him as a second-rounder. The NFL told you he's a fourth-rounder, and we know it's like 10% of fourth-rounders turn into something from the receiver position. Hopefully, it's Eligaya Manor. But I don't know. I haven't seen anything in the preseason that really tells me, okay, he can be that guy. They believe differently, but I almost think that this is like what you alluded to earlier. This and Chimere feel very premeditated more than anything else. Is like their way or the highway. They're going to let these veterans think they're competing, but they're not really competing.
And just think about this now. In my mind, then, DK is disappointed because they would hope that he could take Tyler Lockett and be in the same situation.
I get that same feeling, too.
Yeah, so I just think, they're in rebuild, and they're saying we're growing with these guys, and they're going to grow as the season goes. That's it. Because that's the only way you kind of do this.
Good luck.
And they are potentially going to be starters in this league. I believe that. I just don't know this soon.
Yeah.
And is that going to cause a problem? Because here's what I'm super concerned about. They put these young guys out here. They don't get open. Then Cam starts pressing.
Then he gets sacked.
And then he starts forcing. He starts being the gunslinger. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make it happen. And then
we've seen him throw it to him when he's not
now
open.
We're creating bad habits. It's the things that we don't want to see.
It's like the honey hole shot in the Tampa Bay game. Any other better defensive back would have probably had that interception.
Yeah.
Because he's pressing to a guy that didn't get open.
Yeah. Man, unless he was throwing to me, I would have dropped it. I would have got a PBU, though.
You would have got that PBU. All right, when we come back, we'll be joined by Coach Mack. We're broadcasting live out here in Germantown. Titans house here. We'll be here till 6 p.m. 3HL will also be here as well. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone.
Hey, this is Blaine Bishop, and guys, we spend so much time focusing on external wins, jobs, fitness, success, but what about your internal performance? Your sexual health is just as important, and at Edge Peptide Therapy, they go beyond the Band-Aids and the blue pills. Their treatments are designed to fix what's actually causing issues, whether it's low T, poor circulation, or stress. And listen, this isn't just for men with ED, so if you're doing fine but want more stamina, more desire, more intensity, Edge can help you level up. Real medicine, real results. Get back to feeling like the alpha version you are. And go to edgepeptide.com. Yes, that's edgepeptide.com and see what they can do for you. Or you can just give them a call at 615-724-1878. That's 724-1878. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. We're live from Titan's house here in Germantown. And you can stop by anytime all the way up to 6 p.m. 3HO will be here as well. You can get a behind-the-scenes look at the new stadium. Plus, special guests will be making appearances throughout the day. Free parking available. We look forward to seeing you there. Blaine is over here signing autographs all the time. We got Coach Mack on the line.
Kirby's my blocker.
Coach Mack, how many autographs have you seen Blaine sign when you guys hang out?
He said none.
Well, I mean, they should get Blaine's autograph if it's a Titans event. I mean, he's a Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer and is a hell of a player for the Titans. So I'd want his autograph too if I was going down there.
There you
appreciate
go.
that, Coach.
Coach Mack, Denver is coming up this weekend. It's going to be a battle and a great first test for the Tennessee Titans rookie quarterback. From your experience with the rookie quarterback, what should we kind of expect from Cam Ward against a defense that's experienced, against a defensive coordinator that's considered one of the best in the league?
Well, it's a huge challenge. I mean, look, this is one of the best football teams in the league right now, especially when you start really digging into them and watching them from week 10 on. They were as good as there is. Defensively, I mean, with 63 sacks last year, come on, guys, that's a lot. Yeah. And Vance Joseph, I've coached against him for a lot of years. I've devised defensive game plans for Sean Payton's offense. It's a challenge. It's a huge challenge, and it's going to be a huge challenge for not only the rookie quarterback but for everybody else involved, because they're going to present him some problems, not only with the pressure that they can put on, but his coverage schemes are pretty unique, and plus they don't play a zone drop before their spot dropping. They're man match with their zones, which makes windows really, really tight.
When you talk about basically being in that environment, obviously Mile High Stadium, really loud, great home field advantage, one of the best in the NFL. They have been practicing silent counts all offseason long, but that has been mainly between Corey Levin and Cam Ward. How does that acceleration work throughout these last 2 weeks now that Lloyd Cushenberry is back and the game is on Sunday?
Cushenberry is a veteran center. I mean, the noise up there is real, so you just better get ready for that. I mean, there's two things up there. Anytime you go up there, the noise is going to be really, really something. It always has been. I've coached a lot of games on the opposite sideline up there. I mean, it's just part of it. It's part of the National Football League with home crowds that know how to affect a game. So, I mean, they're going to practice the silent count, and they got to be. That's one part of going up there, and it's really one part about playing on the road in the National Football League, especially for a young team, is being able to handle the environment. And you've got to be able to ignore the environment and not be overwhelmed by it, especially early in contests.
We know the Tennessee Titans are kind of multiple in their runs, and they do a little bit of duo, a little bit of wide zone, gap, mid zone. Which type of those runs is the most effective at loosening up an aggressive front like this Denver Broncos defense?
Well, it just depends on how they choose to defend it. I mean, and that's what you're going to have to find out, during the ball game, because they do a lot of different things up front. I mean, it's a 5-man front sometimes, and sometimes it's a 4-man front that morphs into a 5 or a 6-man pressure. So, I mean, it just depends on what they're doing is what you've got to do. You're not going to just be able to pick one thing, and it's going to be this is a very multiple defense that, again, as I said, they marry their front pressure with that man-match zone coverage behind it. That's why they're so good. I mean, and they got veteran players. Their roster, they've been building that roster for a while, and George Payton, their GM, has done a nice job of putting that group together.
We're on the phone with the head coach of Titans Radio, Coach Mack, for his weekly Mack Attack, brought to you by Tourist Ford, South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Well, Coach, I want you to give me one concept that people typically use versus the Broncos in their man-match defense, offensively in their pass game, and then maybe, keys to the game naturally for the defense and what they'll have to do against Sean Payton and his, formidable, Super Bowl champ, as well as with his, second-year quarterback, Bo Nix.
Well, first of all, if you're on defense against Sean Payton, you got to really be ready to weather the first 15 plays, because the first 15, they do everything they can to throw all your rules off and confuse you with different personnel groups, different people. I mean, it's constant with the first 15. As I said, I've defensed this offense a lot of years in my league calling defenses. And the one thing you can't get caught doing, you can't get chasing the previous play, because he's going to change a lot, especially in the first 15, and then they're going to get settled in. And the one thing with all of his various motions, Blaine, and you'll understand what I'm saying, you can't chase his motion. You got to surround it. You got to be able to get ahead of his motion with money adjustments and those types of things that everybody has. But it takes a lot of discipline on defense. And then, of course, going against their defense, you need a lot of 3-layer routes, because when they man match, they get a lot of pre-snap looks. You've got to be able to adjust your pre-snap looks and your splits, because anytime a team's playing man match, I've coached a lot of man match defense in my career, and you get a lot of that. You can get a jump on a lot of that defensively by reading pre-snap reads with splits and those types of things. So it's really cat and a mouse game when you're playing those kind of people.
Well, Coach, I want you to explain a little bit on the first 15 plays on offense, what coordinators, not just Sean Payton, what they're trying to accomplish when they're having this scripted first 15 plays.
They're searching for how you're going to defend their personnel groups, and that's why I say you're going to get big, you're going to get small, you're going to get spread out, you're going to get bunched up. He's going to show you every personnel group that he can, and he's not going to have any rhyme or rhythm to it, just to see how you're going to match up during the game. Because now you've got the other 3.5 quarters left to be able to see how you're going to match up. That's normally what people do, with their first 15. All of those guys that come from that West Coast offense, that they start out with the first 15 trying to predicate how you're going to match their personnel throughout the game. So that's what they're trying to figure out.
Right, and so then do they then set their game plan based off what you do against them after that first series of plays or 15 plays? Then they come back and say they're doing this, and this. We hadn't seen this in film. This is how we're going to attack the Tennessee Titans.
Well, yeah, and they give you a lot of motions early on, too, to see how you're going to handle the motion. I mean, they give you all of those things. And these guys that are calling these plays, I mean, again, I've defensed this offense a lot to know that you've got to be able to be one step ahead defensively, and that's why I say you don't want to get caught chasing the previous play. You get caught chasing the previous play with all the inserts and the different motions they run, you got a problem.
Well, Coach, this is going to be the first time in your lifetime that you're going to make a prediction on 104.5 The Zone. You are going to predict that the Titans, yes or no, are going to kick a world-beating, record-setting field goal in Denver Broncos Stadium, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. But
well, I do know this going up there. I mean, that altitude
can help balls flow.
Kick.
Is that true? You think so?
Did I say what?
You think it helps the ball go further, right?
5 yards.
5 yards extra. So do you think a record will be broken by the Titans in this game? Yay or nay?
I have no idea where they're going to kick from.
Hey, it's just a prediction, though. If it happens, you can say you were the first one to say it.
Yeah, I stayed out of the prediction business for 39 years. I'm going to stay with that.
Oh, man. Well, Coach Callahan, head coach Callahan, talked a little bit about the preseason and their penalties, time of possession, all these different things. How much do coaches really lean into that a little bit going into the regular season? And do you recall what it was like last year in 2024 preseason? How much do you guys
one thing that the head coach did say that you got to take out all that. He said the preseason is not predicted.
Right.
And it's not. It's just what happened in the preseason. Now, you emphasize, those things not happening, but he prefaced all of that part of the talk by saying the preseason is not predicted.
Right. Well, I mean, but that's all you got to go on. But typically,
exactly.
Right. And then you got a lot of guys that are not even on the team that are playing in these games and causing maybe some of these penalties as well. So I just was always curious on, do coaches kind of look at that and then just kind of brush it off? That's not who we are, or do they look at it like hold true based off of really the individuals who are having the penalties?
It's on the individuals, but you start out early on, trying to lay some rules as to what you want to do, regardless of the time. But as I said, just to predict that something's going to come off of what you did in the preseason, he's 100% right in that statement. The preseason is not predictive. It's just what happened at the time.
Right. One last question. I had a fan ask me this question, and I really didn't know what to say for an answer. And that had nothing to do with the Titans. It was actually had something to do with the North Carolina game last night with Bill Belichick. And you don't have to watch the game to come up with an answer to this. But they said, man, after the first drive of North Carolina, what happened? How did that happen? And I've seen this happen to other teams before. How does it go from a high to they didn't do anything after that? I said, I don't know.
Yeah, look, I was in Fort Worth,
I said, maybe it was the Jimmys and the Joes. I don't know.
Look, I was in Fort Worth, Texas on my Mack Over America tour. I got really close ties to TCU. They had a pretty good plan. Early on, that first drive, is those runs, they were completely out of their gaps. They fixed that so quick. And as I said, run defense is the quickest thing you can fix during a ball game because it's very predictive. There's 8 gaps. They don't change. And if they're changing the gaps by pulling people, then it's very easy to discern who's not crossing blocks and who is. And plus, look, TCU's got a decent team. I know that they were very high on their quarterback. As I say, I'm very close with that program. And so they made a lot of frogs really happy last night.
Yeah, go Frogs. And, by the way, that was the quarterback that Tennessee was trying to get Mr. Hoover for short. He said, no can do. I'm staying a frog.
Well, just remember, the Frogs have got NIL money, too.
Ribbit.
Coach Mack, how can a young quarterback like Cam Ward learn to identify disguise coverages? Because, Denver likes to sprinkle in cover 2 looks before the snap, then switch to more single high post-snap.
All the shell's going to look the same. I mean, teams are going to show him a 2 shell to start with. I mean, but that's the league. The league always starts out in 2 shell, either 2 shell or all up. That's one of the things that you show. You show 2 shell or you show all up. And so, I mean, it's film study. It's being able to find out what we used to call bird-rabbit keys that we'd study very, very hard, both offensively and defensively, to try to get a tell a little bit. But at the same time, you've got to be able to react off the moment, too, and have outs as far as, whether you're going to get 2 plays at the line of scrimmage or whether you're going to be able to do something route-wise if you can see something early on. But there's 2 things that most all defenses do, regardless of what their nature is. They're either going to show you a 2 shell to start with and then morph into something else, or show you all up and morph out into something. So you got to experience it to be able to handle it.
Brian Callahan has talked about this being a more explosive offense, generating explosives against this kind of defense that Denver likes to run, and the fact that Patrick Surtain does shadow a wide receiver typically more often than not. Is Ward's best shot at hitting explosives, identifying the single high quickly and hitting those hole shots to the sideline like he kind of tried to do in that Bucs game to Io Manor?
Well, the best chance is to run the football first. Be able to run the football. When you can run the football, you can pretty much predict coverage. Gotcha. I mean, but that's the key. You've got to be able to get manageable 3rd downs, and that's huge. Especially when you've got a multiple defense that you're facing like this. You've got to take them out of the ability to be able to predict what they're going to do. You've got to put them in a strut. The way you put them in the strut is get ahead of the chains. That's the way you start.
We've heard you talk about it, Blaine talk about it, and Coach Fossil earlier today about the altitude and how it can carry the ball 5 yards further kicking. How does the altitude affect the other parts of the game for the defense and the offense? Is there anything as a head coach that you kind of have to factor into your game planning about this altitude in Denver?
No, I mean, you really can't. I mean, unless you want to get oxygen bottles on the sideline. Which, look, I've brought a lot of teams up there, and if your team is in condition when you go up there, I mean, you're not up there long enough. I mean, you're not climbing Mount Everest for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, As long as you're in condition, this team is conditioned pretty hard. This training camp. I mean, they've done a lot of conditioning after practice, and they've run a lot after practice, getting ready for this. So, as I said, I've taken a lot of teams up there and never really had an issue.
Well, Coach, we got one more last question for you. You would know this better than anybody, and that is, what are the factors that go into determining a young player, rookie player, to competing versus a vet? What factors are you looking at to determine who should actually be the starter?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's the makeup of your team. I mean, that's number one. I mean, I've been on teams before that were so veteran laden that a rookie really had a hard time making the two deep. Gotcha. And I've been on teams as to where you were in a rebuild, just like they are here, where they're going to have to be major contributors. I think a lot of it depends on where you are in the development of your football team. And sooner or later, everybody's got to have a first game. I mean, that's just the way it is. And if you've got a young player that you believe, is going to go through some growing pains, but you feel like that the growing pains are going to be worth the outcome on the other end, that's what you do.
Gotcha.
There you go. Coach Mack, we greatly appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing you call the season opener against the Denver Broncos with this Tennessee Titans. Looking forward to it.
Tighten up.
Guys, appreciate you guys. Have a good time at Titans House. That's an impressive place. Blaine, keep signing autographs.
I don't think he stopped. His hand's going to start cramping soon.
Know,
he shouldn't. Titans fans are all over Titans House, which is a great place. They ought to get Blaine Bishop's autograph.
They should,
man,
exactly.
This is just like your house, Mac.
Yeah, sure. All right, boys. See you.
All right, see ya. That was Coach Mack of Titans Radio, brought to you by Two Rivers Ford, South's most trusted Ford dealer. And, of course, we are broadcasting live here at Titans House in Germantown. Stop by anytime all the way up to 6 p.m. Hattie B's, hot dogs, drinks. We got pictures to be taken. We got autographs to be had. We got virtual reality tours. Special guests will be available throughout the rest of the day. Of course, 3HL will be here as well. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons right here on 105 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door, 615-737-1045. Last call for phone calls as we are broadcasting live from Titans House located in Germantown. Be out here to 6 p.m. 3HL will be up next. Then we'll have special guests making appearances throughout the day. Free parking available. And get a behind-the-scenes look at the new stadium. Got Hattie B's. We got hot dogs. We got drinks. We got all kinds of stuff here.
You had you a dog yet?
I haven't had one.
Is that what you're going to go get?
I'm probably going to get me a hot dog.
Okay.
Let me give me a Hattie B's, too.
Oh,
get one
okay.
for the road. Get, driving down the interstate, eating a hot dog and a hot chicken sandwich. What could happen?
I don't know, man. You may have to go run to the bathroom.
I know. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the college top 25 list that just came out.
Oh, man, Tennessee, how about that?
Tennessee moves up 2 spots to 22.
Oh, that is crap.
Alabama falls all the way from 8 to 21.
How is Alabama still ahead by 1 vote to Tennessee?
I don't
22.
know how Alabama isn't ranked 41. Because I don't even know if they're top 52.
I'm gonna just throw these out the window. And oh, by the way, LSU is 3.
3. They jumped all the way up to 3.
I think they should be
from
close
9
to up there. I like where they're at.
So we got Ohio State 1, Penn State 2, LSU 3, Georgia 4, Miami 5. I mean, that's I mean, you can maybe pick apart a little bit, nitpick that list.
Yeah.
But really, those are probably, from the weekend of what we just saw football, I would say the 5 best teams.
Who did Penn State play?
It's probably the same kind of team that Georgia played.
Oh.
I mean, Georgia played Marshall.
I was going to say, Penn State must play Ball State.
Ohio State makes a lot of sense at number 1 because they played Texas. That makes sense to me. I'm interested to see because
Texas is at 7. They didn't go down too far.
They didn't go down too far. I didn't feel like Notre Dame went down too far, but I guess if you think Miami's worth 5, they shouldn't probably be faulted too much for that.
Right.
South Carolina comes in at 10.
Right. Well, here's what my summary is, what we just see right here. And that's why I'm pissed off at Tennessee being 22.
Yeah.
We saw how much the wins and the losses, at least as far as the top 10, it didn't impact where their ranking is as much.
Yeah.
Like so that means down the road at the end of the season, they'll still be somewhat highly ranked. So a loss, even with some of these teams, didn't hurt them if they played high-level competition.
Well, also Florida State, who wasn't even ranked, move all the way up to 14. Because Florida State wasn't even ranked.
And so that's where the beef is with me and Tennessee.
Because Tennessee...
Because they just put a whooping on Alabama.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But
it's okay.
It's all right. Just respect my privacy in this trying time.
So how is Florida State ahead of Tennessee? As much hatred you have for Tennessee, you think they should be ahead?
Yes.
No, but by that much.
No, I mean, no. I'm saying Tennessee should be ahead.
Right.
But Florida State going all the way up to 14
Unranked.
seems like an overreaction.
Yes.
If we've seen one on this list, you want to put them at 25 or you want to put them at 20, and I get that we're talking about 6 spots or something like that, but you had them unranked. Are you saying that one win against a lifeless Alabama team deserves that much of a jump?
Wow, that means, see, that's the reputation of who Alabama used to be.
They ain't the Alabama of now.
Yeah, Utah killed UCLA, and now they're 25th. Go Utes there, Dice.
I am just surprised. I'm actually surprised Tennessee only moved up 2 spots.
I'm stunned.
But I'm even more surprised that Florida State moved up so far ahead.
Tennessee's a top 15 team.
I mean, they based on week 1, they showed you they were one of the better teams in the college football.
Iowa State at 16, SMU at 17.
I mean, I get that the national media may not be sold on the Tennessee Volunteers and their performance against
Syracuse. So they're making them earn it.
But you didn't make Florida. Why are you sold on Florida State?
It's reputation, Alabama's reputation. I'm telling you.
I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. You get what I'm saying? Like, at some point, this doesn't really make sense after you get like outside the top 10. I mean, because I just don't see it. I don't see it with Florida State. I'm not sure that Michigan really needs to be up there because it was a little close with them in New Mexico for a while. New Mexico gave them a little bit of fight. Now, Michigan ended up pulling away, But this New Mexico State, they were kind of giving them a little fits at the beginning.
Wow.
Now, again, 18-year-old quarterback that just turned 18 like a week ago.
Oh, yeah, the number one recruit, Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, Bryce Underwood, who was awesome. But
I know
still,
who he is, so dang, I know.
Yeah. But Michigan was 14 already heading into it, and I'm not sure that the New Mexico State situation, I guess, dropped them. Like, I wouldn't put Florida State ahead of Michigan based over the weekends. And I understand just said, oh, well, it wasn't that big of a deal with New Mexico State. But I don't think this Alabama team means that much in a jump.
Yeah, but they do in reputation. I mean, like bananas. Banano.
Hey, bananas.
Yeah. Tennessee's at 22 and Florida State's at 14 unranked. Thoughts? Here, you can put on the mic. Being a UT fan, when you see that, I'm stunned. 22 UT, Florida State unranked, now 14.
I'm okay with the Vols being just at 22 because they played an unranked Syracuse team.
I don't know. I think Syracuse
Now, I know it was on a neutral field, but that was a home game for the Vols. So I'm okay with them moving up. Florida State going all the way from unranked to 14th after a win, that's a little much to me.
But then they still have Alabama at 21 ahead of you.
I know. And maybe they justify it saying, hey, FSU's the number 14 team, so we can't drop Alabama too far back because, they lost to the number 14
Yeah, I mean, I
team.
guess if you're going to put Florida State at 14, that makes Alabama's loss not that bad. But I still don't think that's how it should work.
No, it's not. The AP poll
We're just trying to make this logical. I still think Tennessee's better than Alabama right now.
What they showed on Saturday, absolutely.
I don't care who it was. They look better. They look like
better.
they wanted it.
Oh, Alabama. There were effort concerns there with Alabama.
See, that I can't put
And when's the last time you thought of effort concerns in Alabama in the same sentence?
The Tennessee game where Jalen Hyatt scored 13 touchdowns against them.
And that was the end of the Alabama
I thought there were
dynasty.
some effort issues in that game.
So I don't know if you guys brought this up or not, but did you know that there has not been a game under Kalen DeBoer at Alabama where Alabama has had less penalties than the opponent?
I did not know that, but that's a terrible stat for Alabama.
14 games, every game they have not had less penalties than their opponent.
Come on, how do you not know that about your team?
Because I tried to block out the negative stuff.
Oh, no, that's not true.
I just want to ignore it. I can't handle any more negativity about Alabama.
It's okay.
This is like the Tennessee Titans last year. Remember every day?
Oh, it was painful.
Every day you found a new stat, either about Will Levis or the team, that made you feel worse about the team last year.
It was painful. It was
this is like it is for
Okay,
Alabama.
you want one of those?
I don't deserve this.
I'll give you another one of those. This is Alabama's lowest ranking in 17 years.
Yeah.
2008.
I know that one.
In 2008, they were a preseason number 24. And I'm pretty sure was that Nick Saban's first year with Alabama, right after the championship with LSU.
Yes.
So that's in 17 years they have never been ranked this low. Isn't that wild?
And they should have been lower.
You should have been. They should have been lower.
They should be lower than Tennessee, man. I'm sorry.
Well, speaking of polls, Ross, we're throwing it to you. Who is winning the poll about Cam Ward's stats?
Uh-oh. I didn't even vote myself. Hold on, let me get my last vote.
Better hurry up, Blaine.
so I can get my one vote. I know he won, didn't he?
Hurry up, Blaine. I'm waiting on you.
Okay, I gotta go.
No, I'm just playing. You lost by 4%.
I knew it.
So what was the final vote?
Zach with 61.2% completion, 3,600 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 13 picks got 54% of the vote. Blaine was
53. I'm looking at it right now.
That's because you just voted. You just moved
53.
it.
53 to 47.
Blaine was 62%, 3,500, 20 touchdowns, and 10 picks, while missing one game, got 47% of the vote.
There you go.
We're going to look back to this and see who wins.
We will have to. We'll have to look back at it.
And regardless of who wins or loses, Ross, it's on you for dinner.
Come on, man.
There you
Come
go.
on, man.
We're going to Cookout. There you go.
Oh, Cookout.
Or
That's
maybe you know where he should take us? Take us to Hattie B's. There you go.
Ooh, Hattie B's.
All right, that will do it for us. We're live out here at Titan's house. 3HO will also be live out here as well. Be out here till 6 p.m. All kinds of people just keep rolling in. The party does not stop out here in Germantown. This has been Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons. 3HL's up next, and in the meantime.
And in between time.
Peace.